By now, I'm sure you've heard of AI tools like ChatGPT and how they can generate human-like responses to complex prompts and questions. When we get a human-like and relevant response from an AI, it seems as if it understood what we asked. It seems like it understood the language that we used. And maybe this isn't so strange. After all, AI models are trained on billions of web pages, books, images, and datasets. In that way, they know more than any human ever could. But can an AI really understand us? I'm Simon Batchelor, and in this video, I'm going to explore if AI can really understand us, or if it's just really good at making us think that it does. The datasets that an AI uses to generate responses are incredibly large. Imagine being asked a question and scanning through an index of 800 billion web pages for the answer. Kind of like a Google search, but in your mind. That's akin to what's happening with AI. And it's not just web pages, but millions of books, maps, images, and numerical databases with millions and millions of rows of data, all indexed, processed, and connected in an enormous web of connections. An AI that uses these huge amounts of data to provide answers in language we can understand is called a large language model, or LLM. How it constructs its answers to predict the next word in each sentence is based on what it knows of every sentence it's ever read. It works word by word to predict the most likely next word. This is why you may have heard some people describe AI as simply being a really clever autocomplete. The difference here, though, is scale and speed, and its ability to change what it has written as it progresses with the answer, learning as it goes. So, does AI understand us? Well, the short answer is not yet, and here's why. Ilona Faish gives a fantastic analogy of how AI works in her TED Talk called Does AI Actually Understand Us? She calls this analogy the Chinese room. Imagine a room with no windows, and inside sits someone who can't understand Chinese. Instead, they have with them some instructions on how to respond in Chinese to any Chinese sentence. From outside, a person posts a card with a question written on it through a small slot in the wall. The person inside matches these symbols with those on the instructions, and they write the corresponding reply on the card and post it back through the slot. Now, can the person outside the room tell if the person inside the room can understand Chinese? There's no way of knowing. All that can be measured is the accuracy of the returned response. Because there is no requirement to understand Chinese to complete the task, you cannot use the response to determine what is happening inside the room. This is how we're using AI. To us on the outside, it looks and feels like AI understands us, but it doesn't, at least not in the way we use the word understand. So, what did AI have to say about this? If AI understands us, then surely it's only fair to ask it. So, I asked ChatGPT if it could understand us, and this is what it said.
As an AI language model, I am designed to process and generate human-like text based on the input I receive. I have been trained on a wide range of topics and can understand and respond to natural language inputs in various languages. My understanding of language is based on the patterns and structures present in the vast amount of text data I have been trained on. However, I don't understand language in the same way humans do, as I lack consciousness and genuine comprehension. My responses are generated by identifying and predicting patterns in the text, rather than by truly understanding the meaning behind the words.
I then asked it if it thinks it will ever understand us.
As an AI language model, I am a product of programming and training, and I do not possess the ability to think or possess self-awareness. My abilities are limited to what I have been designed and trained to do, which is to process and generate human-like text based on input.
So it's definitely not artificial intelligence as portrayed in some science fiction novels and films then. As for the future of AI, it's difficult to predict if it will ever truly understand language in the same way that humans do. Researchers are working on improving AI models to better comprehend context, nuance and emotion in language. However, whether this will lead to a genuine understanding or remain a sophisticated pattern matching process remains to be seen. As Ilona says in her TED Talk, the only way to know is to see what's happening inside that Chinese room and compare that with what happens in the human brain. Given that AI currently doesn't understand language in the way we do, how can we get the most coherent, natural sounding, useful response from AI? Well, the best person to ask, I guess, is AI. So I asked ChatGPT if there's anything we could do to help it understand us better. This is what it said.
As a user interacting with me, your input can help me provide more accurate and useful responses. Here are a few ways you can help me understand your questions better. Be clear and concise. Provide enough information in your questions or statements so I can understand the context and respond accurately. Use specific examples. If you're asking about a particular concept, providing examples can help me better understand what you're looking for. Avoid ambiguity. Ambiguous questions or statements can lead to confusion. Try to be as precise as possible when formulating your questions. Be patient. If I don't understand your question or provide an unsatisfactory response, feel free to rephrase it or provide more context. While these suggestions can help me generate better responses, it is important to remember that I am an AI language model, and my understanding is based on pattern recognition rather than true comprehension.
Thanks. I said thank you in that prompt because it's incredibly difficult not to see AI responses as intelligent. Humans look for familiarity and meaning within our language and world. That's why we use these words like understanding and intelligence to describe something which is essentially just pattern matching, albeit incredibly sophisticated and impressive pattern matching. Just look at the input and the output of AI and it's easy to be fooled. It responds with human-like answers, and so we treat it as a human. But as Alona says, to really know what's going on, we need to see what's happening inside that room. And this is a lot harder than it sounds. To find out why, you can check out my other video that I made on why no one really knows how AI works. The best we can say right now is that if AI does understand us, it's in a very different way to ourselves. What we can do is look at how we can use AI better, both in a way that trains it, which helps it improve, and produces more useful and accurate responses. I regularly write about marketing tools and techniques that are both ethical and effective, and there's going to be more content relating to AI and also non-AI topics coming up. So if this video has got you thinking, then do consider subscribing to the channel, and if you've got a question that you'd like me to answer or a topic you'd like me to cover, then do drop it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it. See you on the next video.